Hello, class. Welcome to Psych 139, BA 139, Psychology in the Workplace. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you this semester. And this first module is just going to talk to you a little bit about the structure of the class, what you can expect, and kind of what kind of things we'll be working on throughout this semester. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is David Irving. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I work at Children's Hospital Oakland. I've worked also at many nonprofits throughout the Bay Area in several different roles, just not just as therapist. And so I have a lot of experience and background in many different types of work environments. And I'm going to be bringing some of those examples to you throughout this course. To get more information from me, please look up my bio on Canvas. And then I will also get to learn about you all, because that's going to be your first assignment, is for you all to give me introductions and introduce yourselves to each other. So that's a little bit about me. If there's any questions, concerns, any possible psych majors who would like some information on being a marriage and family therapist, I'm happy to answer and support those throughout the semester and ongoing. So the syllabus, I can't urge enough. Everyone, please read everything in the first module very carefully. I've put a lot of information in the first module to support you in being able to understand what is required of you and the expectations of the class. If you are reading and the class looks too rigorous or looks like it's different than what you expected, by all means, please drop the class as soon as possible. I have several students who have asked to be added. So both of the sections are very full. So if you could do that, that would be great. A couple of things just to highlight regarding the structure of the class. One, I will be assigning you assignments. The reading assignments are due on Monday. So you should have the reading read by Monday. By Wednesday, the essential questions are due. Each module will have essential questions related to the chapters that you needed to have read the prior week before. And finally, by Friday, participation in the discussion sessions is due. I will be grading those the following week and making sure you have the grades that you need. By all means, please stay on track. It is very easy to get behind in this class, and that's why I'll be checking in on a weekly basis to make sure that everyone is staying on board. I don't want anyone to get behind and fall short of the expectations of the class. So I'm going to ask a general question just to get us thinking about the world of IO psychology. Why is it that people work? I'll give you a little second to kind of think about that. So here are some things that come up. Usually when I teach this class in person, one of the first things that comes up is money. The other things of why people work are sense of identity, that it provides meaning. People feel that their job is what gets them up in the morning. It's how they define themselves. Think about when you go to a party or meet someone for the first time. Generally, in that first 10 minutes, there's going to be a question about where do you work, or what's your career choice, or what's your occupation. Also, work can be seen as a status or power symbol. If I am working as a CEO, then that means I have power, and that means, I have prestige. And so status can come from work as well. Another big aspect of why people work is social engagement. Many people go to work and that's where they find their friends. That's sometimes where they find their romantic partners. There's a lot that comes out of social engagement when we work with people. And that's a big component in our working relationships and who we are. And then finally, self-esteem. Uh, People feel like they need to work to make them feel better. Some work is altruistic, so people are helping out communities or supporting other people, and that helps them feel good about themselves. So, of these five, which of them do you think is the most prominent? Well, once again, when I teach this class, and I can almost hear you all screaming, well, money. Money is the big thing that drives people to work. And where money plays a really big part in the catalyst to get us going, it often isn't the thing that helps us stay there. When, as you do the reading, you'll find that it's actually the sense of identity and being able to provide meaning to your work that is the most important thing that people value. And that's what gets people to stay in their jobs for long periods of time. So, in this class, we're going to explore why people work, the conditions that help maximum productivity, and the structures and methods used to help people live happy and productive work lives. So, what is industrial organizational psychology, or IO psychology for short? Well, it's the application of methods, facts, and principles of psychology to people at work. When I say principles of psychology, the idea behind the general notion of psychology is that we are studying people's behaviors and why people do the things they do. So in IO psychology, we're taking that principle and we're applying it to the workplace. Why do people do certain things at work? Why are there certain policies at work? And how does it benefit the employee? And how does it benefit the employer? This part is really, really important. IO psychology is a science. And this will come up later on in the semester. What do I mean when I say it's a science? Well, it deals with observable behavior. Behaviors reflect an underlying psychological processes. So once again, going back to this principle of psychology, your behavior is usually based on something. You're doing something for a reason. People just don't do things, be willy nilly just because. You're getting something out of it, or you're doing something for a reason. So we are dealing with behavior, but not just any behavior you can observe, behavior that you can see generally in the workplace. Empirical in its approach, which means that it is valid. That means that it is something that can be observed. Objective in its methods means that it can be tested. So basically, we are going out there and looking for something that can be researched, that can be studied, that can show up whether you're in California, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in West Virginia, whether you're in Maine. If we have a theory about a certain kind of behavior, we're going to test it and we're going to make sure that it is valid amongst all people before we say that this is something you should know. So the things that we're going to be learning aren't just hypotheses or someone's ideas. I'll give you an example. In a factory, it's probably good to have proper lighting. This is something logically that makes sense. However, in IO psychology and in the research that we will be looking into, people will have gone into the factory, they will have observed people, and then they will have tested this theory amongst others that might use light bulbs that aren't so good, use different types of light bulbs to see which is the best before they say light bulbs in a factory are important. Okay? So just remember that what we're dealing with is a science. Okay, so that's all for the first module. Please read chapters 1 and 2, and I look forward to getting to know all of you. Also, don't forget to do the introduction assignments. Thank you.